to it. I'm gonna get in my media engagement bag, I guess you want to call it, man. So we are officially 7 days away from report day for the Chicago Bears. The Chicago Bears will be having interviews and things like that on Friday the 19th. My brother flows one half of the 79th and Hallis podcast. He will be at Hallis Hall live for y'all, taking care of all the interviews here from Caleb Williams, from Matt Eberflus, Ryan Poles, everybody there. You're gonna hear from them all day. He's gonna have the updates. Like I said, I will be traveling on the 19th, so I will not be there for report day, but I will be there for the first weekend of camp, and I will pretty much be at every camp practice except for the weekend. I'm not doing weekend camp practice outside of the opening weekend because, nigga, I need a break. And there's something about training camp. Training camp is crazy because even for the media, it feels like you did something because you're in the heat all day. You're there from like 7:30 in the morning to like 3 sometimes, and that's not including the 2 hours of traffic it takes to get back into the city. See, I'm not doing that on the weekend. So we're gonna be having all that. So in a week from now, everything's gonna be turned up, but still no contract signed. Caleb Williams has not signed this contract yet. Rome Odunze has not signed this contract yet. So I'm gonna do the typical media man. Are you worried?
No, I'm not worried yet. He's the number one pick in the draft, and then have the domino. And then normally you would see a lot of first round picks signed, and I haven't seen that. And maybe I might have missed it. I haven't gotten any alerts or anything, so it just feels like to me there's a number of first round picks that haven't signed their contracts. I've seen everybody but them. So if that's the case, no, I'm not worried, especially when it comes to Caleb, because Caleb sets the market for the rookie scale. So I ain't worried at all. I feel good. And then plus he knows the playbook. This is not like a situation where he's gonna come up in there and still have to like learn, and you gotta hurry up and speed some stuff up. So I'm not worried right now. But if training camp starts next week, and if we don't hear anything by Monday, then I'm a little bit nervous.
So you mean like by the Monday after the first weekend of camp, or this coming Monday?
The day before the camp starts.
Okay, so basically by the time they have report day on Friday, if you don't hear nothing by then.
Yeah. If I don't hear anything by report day, then I'm a little nervous. But because this is a different situation, I'm not as worried as I would have been like if Caleb would have been the 11th pick or the 5th pick or whatever. He's had the playbook and everything, since before the draft. This is a different situation. We're not used to this. So I'm not really worried.
I'll put it like this, man. I don't think I'm really gonna be worried about this at all. And the reason I say that is because Brian Poles didn't bring us this far to fuck it up. If there's anybody who I'm not, if there's anybody who I'm not worried about in like at all, it will be Rome Odunze. Like Rome has an agent. Rome isn't the number one draft pick. He isn't the first big, the first huge talent out of the NIL era that Caleb Williams is. He isn't the prince that was promised. I think that's going to be something that's going to be announced very, very quickly. And not saying that Caleb's won't be announced very, very quickly either. But I'm not worried because Ryan Poles, like I said, isn't going to fuck this up. He's not going to be going back to back with Caleb over something egregious. You did all this stuff since you got here to get this kid. So now you got him. What, you going to shaft him on rookie, on money? We know that's not going to happen. I think what's going to take a longer time with Caleb more than anything is, number one, he doesn't have an agent. And I think the last couple quarterbacks who didn't have agents, or last couple players in general, who didn't have agents, obviously it wasn't that big of a deal because they were able to get the money they're worth. Lamar Jackson was one of them. So I'm not saying it's a big deal in that, even though I do think an agent will help in other areas that have more to do than just a contract. It's going to take a little bit longer with that. And since he is the first NIL quarterback, I think he's going to be asking for some stuff that not your normal quarterback has been asked for. Remember, he's already a multimillionaire. He was in Heisman commercials. This nigga was in a Wendy's commercial all last season. So he has money. You've never seen a rookie with a penthouse downtown Los Angeles. He got money. So it's going to be more about money here. It's going to be less about money here and the other things that go with it. So I'll say this: I'm not going to be worried this entire thing, because one, he's not going to sit out. He even said that in the last time we talked to him that he's worried about the playbook. He'll let the contract figure itself out. And on top of that, man, like, you know, there's no way I can see this going super bad. Now, we'll say this: if we get through a full week of camp, then it's going to become a topic. I'm not saying I'm going to worry about it, but it's definitely going to become news in Chicago, and Caleb's going to get his first dose of the Chicago media. What do you think he kind of understands what's going to happen with this first thing?
Yeah, I think he understands it. I think Caleb has been very well prepared through this whole situation and prepared enough to where if there is anything that's a bit weird or whatever, I think they're prepared for it. And I think the Bears are prepared for it too. I think you're right. He's the first NIL quarterback. He it was reported, alleged that he was already asking for some outlandish stuff, but he's made a promise that he would be there for the start of training camp. Now, the lesser promises have been broken when it comes to sports. Just go ask Kyrie about how his promise, or at least asking Boston fans if he could stay with the Celtics, was going to work. That motherfucker was gone like the next year. So, yeah, there's not anything to make me nervous. But from a content standpoint, and as we say, content is king. As the time ticks to when training camp starts, is going to be fodder on sports radio about when is Caleb going to sign, and then if it gets down to the wire, then it becomes, all right, cool. Is he being a prima donna? Is he asking for too much? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? All of those things that popped up before the draft is going to start popping back up. And I don't think the Bears nor Caleb want that, at least.
Yeah, 100%. That the Hollywood claims, and he thinks he's bigger than the team. All the things they got quieted towards the end of the draft process will definitely come back up if he doesn't sign. I would be very surprised if it got to that point. Even if you look at everything that Ryan Poles has done in his contract negotiations, the players that he didn't sign, it's usually because they were asking for a lot more than he wanted to give. And with a situation with a quarterback who you drafted, who you're putting your job on the line from, I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think that's, like you just said, I think it's the language and the other things outside of money. It was just probably holding this thing up. But for content purposes, it will be good. For content purposes, we can have y'all panic.
Content purposes, boy, the ratings gonna go up. And now that we're about to get into football, what better way for the ratings to go up to talk about a contract thing? So that's we're good. We're good. I don't think we have nothing to worry about. Matter of fact, shouts out to the big homie Jay Hood. He said, I said on the show that Caleb and Rome are waiting for Hard Knocks to sign in front of the cameras. I'm hoping. Hey, that would be ratings grabber. Yeah. Ratings grabber. So you might,
that would be a good one. They've already made their Hard Knocks debuts. They were on the Giants Hard Knocks this past week.
Right. Which was great, by the way.
When they got announced, I was like, who wants to see an off-season, especially on the Giants? No, this is football porn, my nigga. Like, it is incredible. Like, GMs be talking, like, I be talking when I'm doing fantasy football trades. Like, it was crazy. Like, to see how, like, the whole process was dope. And we'll talk about receiver, too, in hour 2. I got some takes on that. I finally finished it a couple hours ago. I think it'll be something that'll be handled real quickly. I think there's not any panic in Bears Twitter yet, but this lingers in the camp. It's gonna come out. It's gonna come out.
Though.
Yeah, and too, at Media Day on Friday, if there's no contract signs, those are gonna be the first questions that's gonna be asked. My man Jason Leisure, he gonna go at it. Potash is gonna be at it. Courtney Cronin, I know my brother's gonna have a couple questions, so. I'm pretty sure that Caleb and Poles want to get something done before Friday. But we're going to see how that. Paper on this player, haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not going to hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not going to